Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to open this big purple floppy package. Well guys, here's my big purple floppy package. We will be opening this today and installing it on the car. Believe it or not, it's a steering rack. When I got in the mail, my wife sent me a message and she's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Don't ask." Come over here. This is my old rack. It's leaky and it was a pain to get out, but hopefully I can get the new one in without too much trouble. Problem is, I don't want to take off my exhaust, and it's kind of in the way. Goes right in there, but I did manage to get it off by taking off one of the tie rod ends and loosening the sway bar. But we're redoing these anyways because can't really tell. That one's bad. Yeah, these have a ton of play in them, so we have nice fancy ones to put in there. So guess let's open the package and make sure that's good. Well, here it is. This is an 03 WX rack that I got used because I'm cheap and I can't afford an SCI rack right now. But this one seems pretty good. No leaks. It already has white line tie rods and whatever you call these rack bushings. Brain fart. Yeah, I'm excited to put this in because hopefully that'll make my power steering stop leaking everywhere. Hopefully it's not too bad. I do have to take off this outer tie rod to get it to fit into the car without pulling the exhaust. So I guess let's start there. There we have it. Came off fairly easy. For those of you who've never done this on a Subaru, this is the inner tie rod, and then this section out here is the outer tie rod. This is the section that goes up into the hub, and then you turn your wheels. These can go bad and they'll start getting play inside of them, but it's tight. So if you were to change one out, just do exactly what I did. There's that little plate that you have to bend back, and then you just get on with a wrench and unscrew it out of here. Pretty straightforward. And that boot, another good indication that this rack's not leaking is when I pulled this boot back, there was no fluid inside of it. Sometimes the boots are tight enough that all the leaking fluid will just collect inside that boot, and then when you pull it back it'll just dump out. But this didn't have any fluid inside, so that's another indication that this is a lot better, in a lot better shape than my old rack. So happy with the buy. It only cost me like 50 bucks, so go me. Next we're gonna put on my power steering lines, and I have braided lines, so yeah. So here's my old rack. Here are the lines. Here's a close-up of the setup I have for my power steering lines. These are, there's a write-up that I found that goes through and tells you all the adapters and connectors that you need. Words of advice that I would do: this is a prefabbed line that you can get from Summit Racing. And why I would recommend doing that is because these have really nice crimps on them, good seals, and for your high power line, it's just important to have a really good seal just because it's your high pressure line. And so if you go with that, then you know it's not going to leak. I did try to make my own high pressure line and it ended up leaking, and so what I did was order another one, and then I just moved that over to my low pressure line, because since it's low pressure, it's just a return line without pressure, so you don't have to worry about it leaking as bad. And so that there you can make your own. That doesn't really matter. You can do a crappy job and it doesn't matter. But once I got all the fittings tight, I haven't had any troubles with it leaking, so it's been really nice. But yeah, so let's transfer those over, and then should be able to throw it in the car. Here we have everything hooked up, ready to go in. Just like that. And the reason I did it outside of the car is because it is really hard to get down past the turbo, down by the transmission with big wrenches trying to tighten these. So I find it easier to just do it, and then I'll thread these up through when I slide it in. So let's try and put it in the car. Well, I finally got it in, and that was quite the process. Here, let me get a light. So, here it is, installed. Everything's really tight. No play in the rack at all. Everything bolted in nice. Took like an hour. That's where the lines go up through. But I'm happy with it. And I'm finally glad I could get rid of that rack that was leaking. All I have to do is put in the intermediate shaft linkage. So here we have the intermediate shafts. This is the new one. This is the old one. This is a company called L&E Fabrication, and they make this little hybrid intermediate shaft linkage, which makes it so that the splines will line up with a GD steering rack. So anything 02 to 07, Impreza, WRX, SDI, they all have the same spline. And then this makes it so you can hook up to the GC steering shaft, steering column. And there's people who just cut them and weld their own together. Or another thing you could do is swap out the steering column with a GD steering column as well. Then you don't have to worry about it. Or I heard you can take these little universal joints apart and just swap them. But I just didn't want to deal with it, so I just spent the $115 and just got this. And then down the road, when I swap out to an SDI rack, then I can still use this. So I was willing to spend the extra money. So let's just put that in. Finally, after the rookie mistake of not attaching this linkage to the steering rack prior to bolting it up, made a rookie mistake. It's been like 3 years since I installed the rack, and yeah, if you're changing out this steering linkage or a rack in general, make sure to attach these as you raise it so you don't fully bolt them up, because I had to undo all these and then attach this and then rebolt it. Kind of a pain, but hey, it's finally in, and I think I'm done for the night. Start on some more stuff tomorrow. What's up, everybody? Here we are the next day, and I'm ready to get some work done. This is also a new lens that I figured I'd try. It's more of a wide angle lens, which I like better because I don't feel like it's so close to my face. Yeah, so let's see how this works. So today we're going to start off by doing some end links. I have some white line end links. I can get them open. There we go. Pretty standard. I'm just going to throw these on real fast. Not really going to film because it's hard to film under the car. Not very good lighting and everything, so guess I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, here they are installed. Went on pretty smooth. My only complaint, which isn't really a complaint, just kind of annoying, is these lower bolts, nuts and bolt, to 13. Come on, everyone knows Subaru doesn't use 13mm bolts. And then these ones are like 17, so that's pretty normal, but it's kind of annoying because the stock ones you have 12 on the bottom, 14 on the top. Just means you have to get more wrenches. But other than that, solid, no more wiggling. So yeah, I like it. Looking back over our list, we're getting stuff done. Our steering rack is done. Can't decide if I want to change my pump or not. That one really doesn't leak that bad. and I don't know if I want to take the time to pull the other one off the motor, but that's something I can do with the car fully put back together, so I can change that out later. Just did end links. The coolant inlet is done, so really all we have left is the screamer pipe. So here we are under the car, and this is my screamer pipe. Up there, that's the wastegate, which it's held onto. This is my headers, up pipe, whatever you want to call it. Comes off the exhaust manifold, and then I just welded straight on from there. Comes off this bank, over, meets here, up around my axle, and then up to the turbo, you can see up there, and then this is my downpipe here on the left. So wastegate, if you don't know, that is how you relief and manage the pressure inside your exhaust. So this will open or close, which will tell you how much boost you will run. And then there's the screamer pipe. So when it opens, the exhaust flows out of it, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of length onto it. So I'm gonna take it off, and then we can weld on a few more inches. Well, after getting under there and measuring how much length I would be adding to get it to where I want it, it was only going to be like 4 inches. So, not that much, and I don't think that's really going to make a difference. So, I don't think I'm going to do it. So, I think I'm just going to throw this back on. Of course, I ripped my vacuum line while getting it off, so I'll have to get new hose tomorrow. I'm throwing on a new clamp because my other one kept coming loose. So hopefully this will fix that problem. So yeah, I'm just going to throw this back on, and I think we're getting pretty close. Well, I think I've been stumped. I just realized that when my external wastegate came off on my last drive in Idaho, that the firing ring, which goes inside of it, came out, so I can't even put it back on. I need to order a new one. So yeah, I'm stumped. Guess I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you everyone for watching. I will put the link to the intermediate linkage for the steering column for those of you that are interested in doing that. I'll put the link in the description, and I will also put the link to the braided power steering lines, and it will go over all the parts that you need to make that happen, because everyone knows that Subarus like to leak power steering fluid. So yeah, I think that's a good upgrade. What else? I think that's it. I'm gonna have to order some parts, and we will continue once they get here. I think I'm gonna order some oil cooler parts because I think that'll help my car run better, or run cooler, which is better. So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you would like to keep up with the build, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.